sister donated a kidney to me 5 years ago, and I just found out why she really did it. 5 years ago, I almost died. My kidneys failed at 28. No warning, no family history, just one routine doctor visit that turned into, we need to talk about dialysis. Then, we need to talk about a transplant. Then, we need to talk about how long you have if we don't find a match. I was on the donor list for 3 months. The doctor said the average wait was 3 to 5 years. I didn't have 3 to 5 years. My sister Emma got tested without telling me. She drove 2 hours to the hospital, sat in a waiting room alone, gave them blood, and waited for the results. She was a perfect match. Statistically rare, emotionally devastating, because she didn't have to do it. Nobody asked her. She just did it. She called me from the parking lot of the hospital after the test. She said, I'm doing it. We're scheduled for surgery in 6 weeks. Don't argue with me. I argued anyway. I cried. I told her she was insane. I told her I couldn't let her give me an organ. She said, you're my brother. That's not a decision. That's just a fact. 5 years later, I'm alive because of her. I tell everyone. I introduce her at parties as the woman who saved my life. She always deflects. Anyone would have done it. Nobody else did. Just her. I've tried to repay her in 1,000 small ways. Birthday gifts, vacations, helping her move twice. She brushes it all off. Stop trying to repay something that wasn't a loan. Last month, I'm at my parents' house cleaning out old boxes. Mom is downsizing. I find a folder in a drawer labeled Emma Personal. Old letters, school papers, the kind of folder a mom keeps and forgets about. I shouldn't have opened it. I opened it. Inside was a letter, handwritten by my sister, dated 1 week before our surgery, addressed to our parents, never sent. Mom, Dad, I need to write this down because I can't say it out loud. I need to do this surgery, not just because he's my brother, because of what I did when we were kids. He doesn't remember, but I do, and I can't let him die not knowing if I tried to make it right. I sat down on my parents' bedroom floor and read the rest. When Marcus was 4 and I was 7, I pushed him off the swing set in our backyard. I was angry because he was crying for Mom, and I wanted Mom's attention. He was the youngest, and he got everything. I pushed him hard. He fell on the concrete. He broke his wrist. I told you both he fell on his own. You believed me. I let you believe me. He had a cast for 6 weeks. He cried every night. He couldn't write. He couldn't feed himself the way he wanted, and I watched him struggle and never told the truth. I've carried this for 24 years. Every time he hugs me, every time he calls me his protector, every time he tells someone I'm the best sister in the world, I remember that the first time he was ever hurt in his life, it was because of me, and I lied about it. And I've spent my whole life trying to make up for one moment of jealousy that I can never undo. When I found out he needed a kidney, I thought maybe this is how I balance it. Not because organs equal broken wrists, but because I finally have something he needs that I can give without him knowing why I'm giving it. He won't remember the swing set. He'll only remember that his sister saved him, and maybe that will be enough to forgive a 7-year-old who was too jealous to share her mother. I sat on that floor for an hour, holding a letter that explained an organ donation rooted in 24-year-old guilt over a swing set. I have a scar on my wrist from when I was 4. I always thought I fell. My sister has been carrying the truth since 1999. I called her that night. I found a letter you wrote to Mom and Dad before our surgery. She went quiet. Then she said, you weren't supposed to see that. You gave me a kidney because you pushed me off a swing when you were 7. It's not just the swing. It's every time after that. Every time I should have protected you and didn't. Every time you trusted me and I didn't deserve it. The kidney wasn't just about that one day. It was about every day I owed you. I said, Emma, you were 7. You're not supposed to be a perfect human at 7. You were a kid who got jealous. That's not a debt. That's childhood. She said, I know that now, but for 24 years I didn't. And by the time I figured it out, you needed a kidney. So the timing felt like a sign. A sign. My sister thought my organ failure was a sign that she could finally pay off a debt that didn't exist. She was holding herself accountable for a crime no court would ever prosecute. She was the judge, the jury, and the donor. Here's where it gets harder, because I love her, and the kidney saved my life. But knowing why she did it changes something. Did she give it because she loves me, or because she couldn't forgive herself? Are those the same thing? Is love that comes from guilt still love? I asked her. She said, it's both. Guilt got me to the hospital. Love kept me there. By the time they wheeled me into surgery, I wasn't paying a debt. I was saving my brother. The reason I got there doesn't change what I did when I arrived. I told her the swing set is forgiven. She said, I know, but forgiveness is something you have to give yourself too. And I don't think I would have ever forgiven myself if I hadn't done this. So in a way, you saved me too. You needed something only I could give, and I needed something only you could receive. We saved each other. We just don't tell people that part. She has a scar on her side. I have a scar on my wrist. 2 scars from 2 different decades that finally found each other in an operating room. One from a swing set, one from a transplant. Both from the same sister. We don't talk about the swing set anymore. We don't have to. It happened. It mattered. And it eventually became the reason I'm alive to Titus. But every time I look at the scar on my wrist, I think about a 7-year-old girl who was jealous of her little brother and grew into a woman who gave him an organ. Some debts don't make sense. Some get paid anyway.